And now crossing borders, Yoweri Museveni's son Muhoozi Kainerugaba has taken to social media throwing salvos against Kenya, saying it will not take 2 weeks for Ugandan soldiers to capture Nairobi to their private control. Kenyans have not taken his comment lightly, using social media to bash him over what they said was careless talk. In his earlier tweet that preceded the threat, Muhoozi made statements that appeared to cast aspersion on the Kenyan democracy. The scion laughed off Kenya's constitutional provision of presidential term limits, insinuating that that does not work for Uganda. Bishebi Jr. brings us more on that story.
Uganda President Yoweri Museveni's son Muhoozi Kainerugaba on Monday went on a Twitter meltdown, warning that he would take only 2 weeks with his army to capture Nairobi. In what could turn into an embarrassing diplomatic tiff for the neighboring country, Muhoozi, who serves as the commander of the land forces of the Uganda People Defense Forces UPDF, posted a series of controversial tweets about Kenya, Uganda's neighbor to the east. He started by blaming retired President Uhuru Kenyatta, whom he refers to as his big brother, for not contesting for a third term in the August 2022 polls, adding that the retired president could have easily won the election. He said, and I quote, "My only problem with my big brother is that he did not stand for a third term. We would have won easily." End of quote. Former President Kenyatta was barred by the Kenyan Constitution from contesting for a third term, but Muhoozi, who is 48 years old, suggests Mr. Kenyatta, who handed over power to President William Ruto on September 13th this year, should have changed the Constitution to remain in power. He wrote, and I quote, "Ha ha, I love my Kenyan relatives. Constitution? Rule of law? You must be joking. For us, in quotes Uganda, there is only the revolution and you will soon learn about it." End of quote. Not done. Muhoozi sensationally claimed on the same platform he needs a fortnight to topple President Ruto's government. He said, and I quote, "It wouldn't take us, my army and me, 2 weeks to capture Nairobi." End of quote. He went on, and I quote, "I'm happy that members of our district in Kenya have responded enthusiastically to my tweet. It's still 2 weeks to Nairobi. After our army captures Nairobi, where should I live? In Westlands or Riverside?" End of quote. It was not immediately clear whether or not he was in charge of his Twitter account. Incidentally, President Museveni, who is 78 years old, has twice benefited from a change of the constitution to rule Uganda for close to 4 decades. This includes the move to remove the term and age limits from the constitution. Muhoozi has also belittled opposition leader Robert Chagulanyi, aka Bobi Wine, saying he will never rule Uganda. He said, and I quote, "Kabobi should know that we will never allow him to be president of this country," wrote Muhoozi, end of quote. The controversial Muhoozi has emerged as a favorite to succeed his father if and when he chooses to retire. Bobi Wine contested against Museveni in 2021 and emerged second. He challenged the results at the Supreme Court but later withdrew the case and has remained a strong critic of the president who shot his way into State House in 1986. For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Bishebi Jr.